Take me somewhere to warmer weather, to something better than here right now. 'Cause the days get longer, the nights grow colder, a lonely shoulder when you're not around.
This is Mulligans, where life gets messy, love gets complicated, and second chances just might save the day. Let's begin. Chapter 13. Nathan stood with a beer looking out over the lake from the patio. He'd spent the afternoon strategizing, obsessing, and second-guessing continually, in a concentric loop that kept urging him to repeat each time he'd finished a lap in his mental gymnastics. He was going to tell him. Obviously, Chase felt something too. Otherwise, why would he be spending time with an old man like himself? He'd find the right moment and say, what exactly? He wasn't even sure where to start, and that's where the second guessing would rear its ugly head and unravel any of the strategizing he'd painstakingly plotted. And beyond that, what was he actually considering might happen? Suddenly the dinner loomed ahead of him like a monstrous albatross. He shook his head in disgust as his eyes scanned the table. A bottle of wine, candles. His heart started beating somewhere up around his throat, and his stomach turned as he realized just how delusional he had become. He glanced at his watch. 7:45. Without another moment wasted on second guessing, he quickly stripped the table of the wine and candles, and returning them to the kitchen, opted for another beer for the boy and himself. Returning outside to the patio, he took another deep pull on his beer before lighting the barbecue. He was going to need the fortitude of liquid courage to get through the evening. When he stood, Chase was standing by the table, a bottle of wine in his hand. Thought maybe you could use some help, so I'm a little early. I was just about to throw the stakes on, Nathan said, his pulse racing. I brought some wine. I didn't know what we were eating, so I brought red. Guess that works, right? Chase asked, setting the bottle on the table and noticing the beer. Or beer works too. I wasn't sure, but wanted to bring something. Well, you can take your pick, Nathan offered. I'll take the beer. To be honest, I haven't really grown into liking wine yet. I think it's something that comes with age. Nathan uncapped the beer for Chase and handed it to him. That's what they say, you know. It gets better with time. The wine, and your appreciation of it too, I guess. The men stood in their own thoughts momentarily. Finally, Nathan broke the silence. Well, I should get started, or we'll never get to eat. He walked past Chase into the kitchen and pulled the marinating steaks from the fridge and took a deep breath as he pushed its door closed with his knee. Keep it together, he thought to himself before returning to the patio. Chase was leaning with his back against the patio railing and seemed to be studying Nathan as he returned to the barbecue and forked the meat onto the grill. Why so serious? Nathan asked, taking up the brush and buttering the steaks with the marinade. Chase shook his head and looked up at Nathan incredulously. You're really strong, you know that? What do you mean? It's just, Chase started, and then seemed to think better of it. It's nothing. No, really. What is it? Nathan asked, glancing over at Chase. Well, to live this life. Your life, Chase finally said, and the words seemed to drip with implication. Nathan swallowed hard and shook his head, returning his focus to the steaks. It's just life. I don't think it's that courageous. I can't imagine it. Things were different 20 years ago, Chase. That's exactly what I mean. I think it's easier to be yourself now. Like, for me, sure, it's hard, but I kind of take it for granted that I can be who I want to be. Nathan closed the barbecue lid and walked over to the patio railing and stared out over the lake. He wasn't sure how to start, and wasn't even sure if he should. The last thing he felt was any sense of control right now. He certainly hadn't expected Chase to have broached the subject. His fists clenched around the ornate metal railing as if to steady himself for the flow of thoughts all but ready to burst out of him. When Tyler told me about you, he began and then stopped, his mouth dry from the anxiety. Nathan took a swig of his beer and began again slowly, deliberately crafting each sentence. I can't stop thinking about it. I don't want to think about it. Nathan turned from the lake and his gaze danced around Chase's face, unable to hold his eyes for any length of time. It's just that all this, he gestured lazily around the yard and almost with an air of defeat towards the cabin. None of it seems real anymore. Your life is going to be so free. Nathan's eyes finally met Chase's, and volumes were spoken in the momentary silence. Nathan let out a little laugh, but it was more shock than anything resembling joy. He brought his fist to his mouth, as if he was terrified at what words had been spoken. I've got to stop talking. I think you should go. Chase's face blanched, and he recoiled slightly, like a twice-shy dog. Then, as if gathering his courage, he took a deep breath and stepped closer to Nathan, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Now it was Nathan who shrunk under the touch, letting Chase's hand fall from his shoulder and keeping his eyes trained on the ground. Chase, I really think you should go. Nathan couldn't see what was going on in the boy's face, nor did he want to. The best he could manage right now was to not fall over. He was suddenly feeling very nauseous. He watched the white sneakers turn, pause for a moment, and then quickly walk away.
And that's a wrap on this chapter of Mulligans. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and that it got you thinking about the complex relationships we all navigate, the ones that challenge us, change us, and ultimately shape who we become. If this chapter spoke to you, or if you're reflecting on the big questions of love, family, or second chances, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below or hit me up on social. Whether you're pondering Tyler's journey, Chase's emerging sexuality, Nathan's dilemma, or Stacy's challenges, or just want to share your own thoughts, I'm here for it all. Don't forget, if you're craving more, you can grab your very own copy of Mulligans. The paperback, ebook, and audiobook are available with links in the show notes. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next chapter. Trust me, things are about to get even more interesting, and I can't wait to share it with you. Until next time, remember, second chances are just around the corner, and love can always find a way, no matter how messy it gets. Keep dreaming big and loving boldly. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next chapter of Mulligans.
Take me somewhere to warmer weather, to something better than here right now. 'Cause the days get longer, the nights grow colder, and lonely shoulder when you're not around. Tell me, do you want me right now? I don't wanna wait to find out. I need you to love me lights out tonight. Will you love me till the sun goes down? Will you love me till the stars burn out? And tell me, do you see a future filled with me? 'Cause I do. I see you, I see you, you, you. 14 hours and 14 days, yeah, it feels the same when I'm not with you. Tell me, do you want me right now?